Parkview, the major ones, IU Health, St. Vincent's, all of them in Indiana. But if you're, I'm not as familiar maybe with some of the other states because I don't live there and I don't hear about them all the time, but you can go into this tool and, look that up as well, find a facility, and you can find out if a particular hospital is in network. So really useful tool. If you haven't used it, I strongly encourage that you do because, again, it's the most up-to-date information. Any questions? Anything anybody wants me to look up in particular for the fun of it?
So what's the hospital in Richmond
Reed.
that
Reed.
doesn't
Reed.
participate in anybody's network? Are they?
Reed's still out of network.
Yeah, they're too expensive. we can't get a collaboration worked out that's mutually beneficial.
Nobody.
Yeah. Trying to see if I've left anything off because I kind of jumped into this stuff. Let me go back over here. Go to the end of the presentation.
Is Anthem planning an Indiana rollout? Have they already had it? Is that tomorrow at the Gordon marketing meeting?
Well, good question. So, well, as far as tomorrow, I will be at the meetings tomorrow, and we'll be talking about, one of the roles that I'm going to play is to go into more detail as far as the RPP, other plans that we offer in those 3 states. This is more focused on DSNP. So we'll do that. It's not the in-depth training package. It's more of an early look, still. The in-depth information is scheduled to come out towards the end of August, 1st of September, where we get, a lot more detail behind it. And then as far as training, I know that benefit plans, you usually do training, don't you, on the different products? That's one thing, but let me take a moment to kind of show this to everybody as well.
I can think of 2 things that you haven't talked about.
But hold on a second, let me do this. We offer, there's a couple of ways to get education and training prior to AEP. We offer webinars. So you'll get a calendar of dates for the different states that you can attend a webinar training if you don't want to go to a live training. But this is something that, from an organizational perspective, it used to be, even when I started a couple of years ago, we have our field reps, the Anthem reps, and then we have, different agency types, FMO, MGA, et cetera. We have different channels of business. And it used to be a little bit more antagonistic where some of, I heard feedback that some agents that were affiliated with an FMO might try to go to an actual training session that a field agent was hosting and get turned away in years past. That is changing. That is in the process of, it's already been changing. And as of right now, and I just sent this out yesterday, this thing keeps coming up because it wants me to pull it up. There is a link to the training that's already scheduled, the in-person broker roadshow training schedule. Any agent, FMO, MGA, independent, anybody can go to them. So, if you feel like after, hearing what's available tomorrow and whatever, training resources Gordon Marketing offers, if you don't like a webinar, you like to be in person, you click on this training link and you come down here. It's pretty cool, actually. Hold on.
So how did they get to that link?
I sent it in an email. Do you guys all get the Producer Online News? The Anthem Producer? Okay, it was in that Producer Online News this week. So you got to read them, and we can send it out again for anybody who needs it. But you click on the training link, then you come down here, and let's say you want to go to one in Indiana. So you click on the state, boom, and they're starting to fill up. But it's going to show you Indianapolis North, Fort Wayne. So the only thing I tell you is if you want to go to one, be sure that you register. If you don't register, you might be turned away because they are filling up. That's the only key. If you don't actually go in and register to attend, they may not have enough seating for folks, okay? But if that's something you're interested in, it's available to you. Any questions?
That's at the shop.
That actually, again, the producer newsletter, you should get that about every other week from Anthem. If you don't, you probably should go on the broker portal and sign up to get one. I sent out a note to, I communicate with my FMOs, to Gordon Marketing. So if anybody needs it, I'll hand out business cards. If you need the link, just let me know and I can send it to you, okay? Because that might be something that's beneficial. What was that?
I think you get it every day.
I was going to say, I think, unfortunately, you get it so often that some people, yeah, I've seen it. This time of year, read them because it's, we're ramping up for AEP and you probably get them from United and everybody else that you market, but you might want to take a glance at them because there's a lot of good information coming out right now. Okay, so what have I not talked about?
Online app.
Online app. Okay, so, thank you. That is something, let me go back to my deck here. So we talked about Custom Point. Here's the slide on how to get into the online store. And I can stand up now. All right, so this is kind of big, exciting news for us. This year, we're going to roll out an online mobile application tool. So you can be on your iPad, your laptop, what have you, with your member, and you can actually enroll them, submit their application right then and there. I know a lot of our competitors have had that, and we kept hearing a lot of feedback about, boy, it'd be nice if you guys could do that. We're doing it this year. They're going to roll it out. I mean, I know that Rebecca Necker was like, can you come and demonstrate it and show us like I've done for Custom Point and online store? It's not up and running yet. It's still in the development phase. So I don't have the ability to go in and actually show you what it looks like yet, but I do think that's going to be a training opportunity later this fall. Yeah, we'll do that. But what I can show you is just sort of the slides, the marketing slides about it that they kind of rolled out to us to let us know what was coming with that tool. Bottom line is, we're launching it. It's going to be a URL that you can put in again. Do most of you take iPads with you when you meet with customers? I'm just curious how you do that. Laptop? Okay, so you can plug the URL into your favorite, so you have it right then and there. You can do your scope of appointment, quoting, application. You can access online store, what we just looked at, through this tool, and actually look up those doctors, drugs, facilities right from this application. This kind of just shows you can easily search for available plans, view summary benefits, select a plan to enroll. They're just kind of it's a screenshot of what it's going to look like for you. You'll hit benefit summary, hit apply, it'll throw that up, and it gives you an overview of what those features are. Document upload capability. Documents can be uploaded, and submitted in real time with the application. So I know now a lot of agents, if you're using the paper copy for Anthem, you're filling it out, you might come home late at night and use online store to upload, retype all that information. I don't know if you're doing that, I know some do. Because there's a lot of advantages to using the online store tool at the moment because you can track the app and, it's real time. But this takes away that extra work. You'll be able to upload the application right then and there. You don't have to come back home and redo it. So that's a big bonus, benefit to agents in the field.
You know what would be helpful, Carmen?
What?
Is if you could research whether it would be valuable for agents to upload the Medicaid card with the application. They could take a photo.
I think so. I'm going to tell you yes right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I can ask that question, but to me, that's just more information, and it can't hurt to have that with it.
Do you accept generic SOAs?
Yes, it doesn't have to be Anthems as long as it's CMS approved.
Right.
Yep. Let's see. I don't think most people would be using a voided check, but you can do the paper SOA and a camera, right here, Edgar, to take a picture and upload, saved files. So Medicare, Medicaid, whatever information you have and you want to include with that application, you can take the picture and upload it right there. Sign and submit, so you can use your the fingertip or the the little pen, the stylus. Signature pad for both application and the eSOA, I guess is what it's called now. Everything can be finished directly on the mobile device. So, once you've gone through the entire application, you and the member sign, and I'm sure you're going to hit a submit. I don't know if the next one says submit button, but then you submit it, and it's real time. It's going through the process.
So this has a scope of appointment form in this application that we're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good.
Yep, I think it was back here. You can click on it.
Okay.
I don't see it there, but it does.
Okay.
Now, and again,
Well, it says you can upload the.
you can upload it, and if you also had like the paper copy, let's say you had a scope of appointment, like you got it filled out 2 days before.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you can do is take a picture of it with your camera and upload it. Because most of the time, obviously you're trying to get your scope of appointment 48 hours in advance. There's exceptions to that. When you're at when you're at an event and somebody might want to come talk to you afterwards and sign up for something, those are those walk-in options. But from a CMS perspective, it should be 48 hours.
If you're at a Walmart, it's not going to be.
Exactly. If you're doing that, but you can.
You don't need a scope of appointment at Walmart. It's a formal event that's been already.
That's true, yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
true?
Yeah.
I would actually would have had.
I
to
still
look
get
that
one.
I would anyway.
up. I was gonna
I
say,
still get one.
And keep it 10 years.
Yeah, I still get
that
one.
is true, you need to keep them 10 years, even if it doesn't result in a sale,
Carriers
you all
will
know
last
that,
forever.
right?
Yeah.
You still have to keep it. And here are the links to other tools. So this is basically the online store that we just talked about. You can find a doctor, find a facility, all those things we just saw in the other application. You'll have that on this tool. And there's the training. So, you know, I guess what I can say about the online application is that it's very exciting. It's going to be a great tool for agents. Unfortunately, I don't have any more detail than what I've shared with you yet, but that's coming. It'll happen probably mid-September is when that's going to roll out.
Okay.
Okay? What else? Did I miss anything else?
I think we're good.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
If we're using that program on a laptop, is there an option besides the signature? Do we have to do the signature pad to make that happen?
I do not know, but let me take that question back.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Probably a mouse.
I'm thinking that you just, okay, here's what I thought. I mean, I don't know
I
for
think you use a
sure.
finger.
You just use your finger.
Yeah,
You know?
Just use your finger on the laptop screen.
He needs to, he doesn't have to.
Oh, I'm
Laptop screens are
I'm
like
thinking
that.
of my smartphone as I'm saying
Right.
that.
Yeah.
No,
You're right.
You gotta use a mouse.
Yeah,
So
I'll take that
if we
one
could
back.
use a mouse, we could do it that way. But
Definitely.
there has to be.
How would that work? I don't know.
You just-
The mouse.
Hold it down.
It's hard.
Right.
It's very hard.
It's a
Yeah,
pain,
try
but
that.
you do it, you can.
I'll find out for you.
Okay.
Yeah. And should I funnel answers to you, Edgar? You
Yeah,
know?
that'd be helpful, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Sure.
Any other
Is a
questions?
copy or picture of the Medicaid card a mandatory?
I don't believe it's mandatory.
Mandatory would be helpful.
Yeah. And that's what she was asking, you know, should I do that? You don't need to do it, but if there's an issue and they have, yeah, you've got the information there. If it gets to enrollment and they're not quite sure they're missing something, they've got that right there with them to look up. So I would recommend it.
I take a picture of everyone I do. And I keep it in my own records. I've never sent it to a company unless there's been a problem.
I think those are best practices that are good. I think when you get in a forum like this to kind of talk it through, because we don't always mandate everything, but I think as you've been out in the field for a long time, you want to minimize the amount of time you've got to go back and supply information. So the more you have up front, the less time you have to spend retracing your steps. Did you have another question?
No, I just remembered years ago, I won from these guys a mobile fax. This, you know, little, it's about the size of a deck of cards.
Yeah? And you
Never
use that a
used it.
lot, right?
Well, now I will.
All right. Any other questions?
So we'll still have the online tool too,
Yes.
to use it at the office.
Yep. Yep.
So-
Nothing's going away. We're just going to add that tool for your benefit.
You still take fax paper apps, right?
Absolutely. I don't recommend it. And the reason I say that is because we've had so many instances of maybe a fax page getting stuck behind and it doesn't make it all the way through to enrollment. I mean, as an agent, what you need to do is if you know you had 10 pages, you need to have that confirmation sheet that says 10 pages faxed, and you need to hold on to that with that application.
The short answer is no. We're going to all
And they don't
online
want you to do
applications, period. It's just more efficient, you just don't have any problems.
I agree with him. I mean, can you do it? Yes. But are there problems with it? For the example I just cited, yes. And then if they don't know who it came from, for example, maybe they lost the page that has your information, who are they going to pay commissions to? They don't know who it goes to. So I don't recommend that. I recommend online tools.
I haven't done your
Mom
stuff
says
yet.
yes, Dad
Yeah.
says no.
So it's
Mom agrees with Dad, but I'm answering his question. Can you do it? Technically, yes.
There are two ways to do online applications, this way and then you can take the paper app and then you can do it on the website.
Back to not being able,
I'll
if
get
you
you
take a
this.
laptop in and not being able to sign.
You can take a paper app, yeah, but then you would do an online enrollment
App.
on
Right.
your website.
Right.
You have to leave the book anyway.
Right.
But how you getting, if you take a paper app and you do what she said, go back and type it in, or even if you type it in there, and you don't have something to sign,
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
You got
can't
to
do
keep
that.
it.
You're
have to scan
acknowledging
it.
that you
If
have.
you take the paper app, you'd have to fax it.
Now
No,
scan it.
you do it online. You do it online.
yeah, but you can't do an online signature on it
But there's no
laptop.
signature.
You type your
There's no
name in
signature
and then
required.
you sign the application.
There's no signature required.
You're
On
just
the
typing
online
their name in.
application, or on the ANSA website, right?
You're typing their name in.
Yeah.
You just type their name in,
Yeah.
and they don't have to sign.
That's correct.
Oh, they could sign an ad right in front of
You're
you.
not actually submitting the paper app, you're actually entering the data.
Yeah, you're entering the data into online store,
Right.
which is what, let me go back a minute, when I said that by having this new tool available, it eliminates that
The
dual
paper
work.
application.
Yeah,
Right, I understood.
okay. I just
But you've gotta have a signature somewhere, and he's saying you don't.
But you said
You
your
have it on the
paper.
paper app.
On
You
your
have it on the
paper
paper
app.
app.
So
But
we
you
have
don't
to print that
fax it
paper
You don't
out.
fax it in, no.
Now
You
you can do it
fax
online.
it in. You
So
can.
actually, Anthem
But
has
don't
no
fax it
idea
in
whether
to
I
the computer.
forged it or not.
You have to upload the scope because there's
So you're gonna
too.
worry about that.
We've done thousands of
I
these
just-
online.
Yeah,
I
these
just
guys
did-
have typed
I just
them
did
in.
one last
They
week.
don't like to
That's
That's
type them
fine,
in.
I mean, it's easier for me, but
Yeah.
it doesn't
I
make
was the
sense
queen
from the
of
company
handwriting.
standpoint.
All right, Carmen,
When we did
thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Cards.
Oh, okay, I'll get
Cards.
those, I'll hand them out.
How many of you know what a ship advisor is? Exactly, exactly.
So can you turn that light on?
Hey Edgar, real quick, we do have a question back here.
Okay, wait a second.
Let
I
me
guess
just
I-
undo mine. How about that?
Okay, go ahead.
If the application is done online, can the agent still get a copy of the application?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, at the end of it, it will ask if you want a copy. I download mine and I also send a copy to my client.
on the new mobile app.
Oh, on the new mobile app, I don't know. I know with United Healthcare you can.
You know, let's just, will be more information coming on the mobile app.
Okay.
I actually have I'm going to a training next week on it. So the timing was a little, you guys are a little ahead of the game before we have all the information for that. So we'll get more information for you, but those are good questions. And I know you, okay, sorry about that.
Okay, so the question was, how many of you have come into contact with a ship advisor? And there's a rub oftentimes with a ship advisor who's hired by the state and what happens with private insurance carriers and what they're doing. I heard yesterday a complaint from an agent in Steuben County up where Angola is, that they had ship advisors advising them, advising his clients, to get out of the plans that they were selling and say, get back onto original Medicare.
They're doing that in Marion County too.
So,
Or not Marion County, Marion, Indiana, up in Grant County.
well,
You say
this
Medicare or Medicaid?
Medicaid, it's getting back onto original Medicare
Okay.
and Medicaid.
Okay.
Now, I mean, this is, politics going haywire, okay? Which is a problem in lots of parts of our country. But leaving that aside, I want to give you a little bit of the history, and I'll for just a short amount of time, and then I'll ask you to come on. And I want special emphasis on persistency. So the history of these private health insurance plans actually is top-down driven by the government, by CMS. And the original DSNP plans was a cooperative venture between a company called Evercare, later purchased, rings some bells, huh? Later purchased by United Healthcare, okay? And it was a cooperative venture between private and public, but top-down driven, because this population that we're talking about occupies a huge amount of cost expense, both on the Medicare side and the Medicaid side. And the original idea was to create greater coordination between all of these, the technical language is comorbidities. Diabetes, heart disease, depression, this, that. They're on 20 drugs. You got 4 doctors. How does this doctor know what the other doctor is doing in terms of the drugs, right? They're all over the map. So the idea was to create a plan that had care coordination. That was the idea of what Evercare was doing. Now, there's been a lot of stumbling blocks. But the point of my story here is that if someone says, go back to original Medicare, what are you losing? Well, you're losing what the private insurance carrier has designed to try to take care of this person in terms of care coordination. Medicare doesn't have this. You can say the same thing about an MAPD plan, okay? when comparing to a Medicare supplement. Medicare supplement won't have the care coordination preventive benefits that an MAPD plan. That's a benefit of the private MAPD market. Same thing with the dual eligible population. They're called SNPs for that reason. Special needs plans for which there are special care coordinations provided. In theory, at least. They've been struggling with trying to control costs ever since. But my point here is that that population, when you're talking to them, the intangibles of the product in terms of care coordination is a selling point. It's a marketing point. It's a point of your sales relationship with that person and how they're going to interact with their caretakers. And I think that's a very fundamental part of trust that helps to solidify persistency. What Carmen talked about in terms of you being able to enroll people month by month, that's an advantage, sure, but it's also a disadvantage. They can leave you month by month unless you are truly solidifying that relationship in terms of the sales dynamic. I'll give it over to you.
And he's very true in that. If you're not willing to give 100% in a DSNP, how many people regularly sell DSNPs right now? You really have to know these people need kid gloves. A lot of your DSNPs, and this is not trying to be a slam on anyone, are your less educated, less fortunate folks. They have no idea there's anyone out there to help them. They have no idea that there's insurance that could help them beyond where they feel kind of put down. I talk to a lot of people who are like, well, I sit in a clinic for 4 hours because that's the only place that will take my Medicaid. We start opening up networks for them. We are opening up a dialogue for them. We're helping them. And a lot of people are going to say, well, that's not my job to help them get their Medicaid back when they forgot to send in their paperwork. It's not my job when they lose their LIS and now their drugs are $120. Well, if you want to keep the commission on the books, helping them is part of that. I have a client who went to the hospital, accidentally gave them her red, white, and blue card. Not her Medicaid card, not her United Healthcare card, but her Medicare card. Nobody paid a dime. Now, I am dealing with 3 hours of phone calls to all of her doctors that were in the hospital, giving them the proper cards and the proper information. Is that my job? No. But is that helping her? She lives in a community that is all DSNP. She's telling her neighbor, can you believe Aaron came over and helped me? I didn't know anybody would help me. I didn't know where to go. I was getting collection notices now. So it's willing to take that extra step for your clients. And when you do that, you build your relationship and they're not jumping plan to plan. And I tell my clients, first thing, you don't like this plan, we can take you back to Medicaid and Medicare. That's not a problem. We can do that. But kick the wheels a few months. I always say 3 months so we don't have that rapid disenrollment. But kick the wheels a few months. A lot of them will be, but I don't pay anything now. Why would I go to this plan? Again, you have the transportation. Some Medicaid doesn't, their benefits don't allow them to have transportation. The over-the-counter, how many of these people are malnourished and need vitamins? But they can't afford what vitamins cost. They can get a 90-day supply of vitamins, $45 worth of it on this plan. Some of them can't afford their denture creams, their toothpaste. Again, that's an added benefit. They're getting almost $200 a year in free over-the-counter product that nobody's helping with. Medicaid's not going to buy them their vitamins. They also have the dental, the vision. Some Medicaid does cover that, but again, what are your qualifications? What are your levels in order for Medicaid to cover that? But I truly believe in a DSNP plan, you have to be devoted to your clients. I probably have half of my book DSNPs. People who call me more than that are my DSNPs. But sometimes it's a very simple thing to fix. It's just they didn't give their card. Biggest thing to tell your clients, Every time you walk into your doctor's office, I don't care if you're there 3 times this week, hand them both cards, your Medicaid card, your Anthem card. Oh, but they tell me they have it. Trust me, just give it to them, ask them to copy it, ask them to put it in your records. Because there'll be more times they've changed computer systems, they have a new billing person, something is a glitch, and now all of a sudden they get a $20 copay. Well, you know, they didn't think they owed that copay. And now they're mad at you. I hear more than not, your insurance company. Well, I'm an independent agent, I represent a lot of different companies, but the buck stops at you. So really know your plans, know the benefits of your plans. Calling, now I've never called.
Okay.
Because they have their cards, they have their letters, you know, we talk about their drugs.
Have you had problems with any of
I
them?
haven't.
So
I
you're
haven't,
asking
so
the right
I've been
questions.
very fortunate,
Well, you're
yeah.
asking the right questions.
And it's sitting down knowing what your clients are qualifying for, because when they first say to you, well, I don't pay anything anyways. You know they're the full QMB. And then there's some like, well, I used to have a spend down, but now they just pay my 104. Well, this plan is a big benefit then, because if all they were paying is their 104 and they're getting $8 bills, $3 bills here and there, this plan will still come in and make it a 0 copay for them.
What do you mean by 104?
Part B.
Well,
Oh, the Part B.
it's 121 now, I'm sorry, 121.80 now. But a lot of people still stayed at the 104. So it's knowing your plans, knowing enough about Medicaid, you know, where it helps. I'm licensed in 28 states. So it's trying to know, and you can go on each state's website and kind of find out a little bit about, I don't have too many QMBs or duals around the country. It's more here in Indiana and Ohio and Kentucky that I deal with those. I have a couple in Illinois. But my Georgia folks, the ones that are reaching out to me from Georgia, they aren't QMB because they don't know how to find, they don't have a computer to get to me for me to help them. But I think it's selling yourself and having them trust you when they say, well, Medicaid pays 100%, I don't need you. Is Medicaid there on Sunday to answer your questions when you have a problem? Is Medicaid there at night when you get a bill and you don't understand it? You have my number, you have my cell phone, you know how to call me, you know I'm here for you. Leave me a message, I get back to you. If I don't answer my phone, it's because I'm in an appointment. A lot of times they'll call 10 times in a row and I'm like, I'm not answering for a reason. But you just call them with patience. It takes a lot of patience some days to work with them. But it's also very, very rewarding. I'm one of those people that I may not be able to sell to you today and get you a good plan, but you might know somebody that I can help and you're going to refer me to them just because I gave you the honest truth and helped you. That's rewarding to me. Sure, I like the money I make. I have 2 kids in out-of-state universities. So it's a big deal to me to get a paycheck. But I also couldn't sleep at night if I sold you a plan to sell you a plan. So know your products and let your clients know you. Let your clients know you're real. Because that's more important to them than anything.
Yep. You're going to be there.
Yeah, you're going to be here for them. That's the most important thing. And I tell them that. I tell it, you're part of my family now. I give you my cell phone to call me for a reason. Yes, there are days that I recognize a phone number that I don't want to answer. But it's easier to answer it and be done with it than it is not to. But
We all have those.
yeah, you have those clients no matter what. It just seems you run into them a little more in this dual field. Any questions?